Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to jump in and try out these two new little recipe projects with you. I will tell you right now that one of these I have not done before. So we're going to find out together whether or not this works. All right. Today we're going to do two different types of non-toxic makeup alternatives. We're going to try an all-natural bronzer and then an all-natural blush. One thing I will tell you, I have tried the bronzer before, and I will tell you right now that the color that we're going to come out with, the end product, is not going to be quite as strong as something that you would find at the store. Okay, so what I mean by that is I am going to have to do a lot more. I'm going to have to use a lot more to get the same kind of coverage. Now, you might have noticed from other videos, makeup is not my big thing. It's not something that I spend a lot of time or money or effort on. So for me, that is not a deal breaker at all, right? I just like a little bit of coverage. If I have some blemishes, something like that, I want to be able to cover it up, and that's it. If you, however, are one that really like a full coverage, you really, you spend a lot of time on your makeup for a certain look, then I definitely recommend try it. But then also, like, don't try it for an event, right? Try it just for fun at home to see how it goes. All right. So one of the things that I think is so important about everything that that this show does is that we're trying to get rid of certain things in our home or in our skincare or in our body care, whatever it is. We're trying to get rid of certain toxins that are just coming naturally in those products, right? And when we make something at home, we know exactly what it is that we're putting into it, and we can do our research on each and every individual product to find out what kind of negative outcomes can come from that. Okay, so that's what I love about this makeup that we're gonna try out today, and I'm excited to see what happens. All right, so today we have the bronzer. First thing, like I said, I've already made this before, and it has turned out pretty well. I randomly found this recipe. I don't even know where I found it. I keep on making it, right? But I randomly found it, and I kind of tweaked the amounts a little bit to match my complexion really well. As you can tell, I am very, very pale. I am very fair skinned. So keep in mind with both the bronzer as well as the blush that we're going to make, while these might work for me, they might not work for you, right? So you're going to have to take that into account when you're making it. If you are a little bit more darker complexion, then you might have to add more of a certain color. If you have redder tones, then you might have to ease up on something. Or if you have, more yellow tones, then you might have to add something. All right, so that's going to be up to you. With this bronzer, I am definitely just doing what I have found works for me. All right, so play around with the amounts. All right, so I have my beautiful little dish here. All right, to start off, we have 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Okay, so here's my cornstarch, Kroger brand, nothing special at all. I think that I have this because of cooking, right? So Kroger, nothing expensive. It's just what I had, right? And that is kind of just what my goal is with everything that I do, right? Use what we already have. Don't go out and spend a lot of money. So I have 1 tablespoon of the cornstarch, okay? Next, I'm going to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of cacao powder. Here, this is Navitas Organics. I don't even know where I bought this. Not a clue. Not a clue, but look it up if you are really interested in this brand. I don't necessarily have a brand that I like better than the other, but I do use this in food and cooking. So sometimes so because of that, that's why I really love the organics product. And then now we're putting in skincare, so having some more organic, more organic ingredients is always nice. So I am going to go ahead and add in a tablespoon, and I only have a teaspoon clean. I could have done dishes, or I could just do 3 of these. So that's what I decided. I'm just gonna do 3 teaspoons to equal my 1 tablespoon. Alright, so remember, you're going to play around with the color depending on your skin tone, and then you're also going to remember that whatever ends up in this bowl, it might look super dark, it might look super light. Try it on first and then mess with the color. Okay, so I have my 1 tablespoon of cacao, and now I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. I don't know, you might have already been eyeing my little spices over here, right? This nutmeg, which will be next, this is smidge and spoon. I think that this is Kroger. It just says psst, big savings, pass it on. So I'm gonna assume it's Kroger. So this is my cinnamon. I am going to do a tablespoon of it. So again, 3 of these teaspoons. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So now I have my cinnamon. Next, we're going to move on to the nutmeg. And guess how much we're going to need? Yep, tablespoon. Alright, so wiping it off. And moving on to my nutmeg. This one, I probably bought this at Kroger, the smidge and spoon, but quite honestly, I don't know. Oh, it says here, Kroger.com, so this was Kroger. So all of these, again, when I buy spices, I really buy based off of price. And so these they are the cheapest, or at that time they were the cheapest because of a coupon or sale, something like that. Okay. Now, I did not say this before, and I really should have. Cinnamon. Cinnamon, a while ago we made some dry shampoo. Cinnamon is an optional ingredient in that. And it's optional because it can irritate your skin. It depends on the sensitivity of your skin. It could irritate it. So with this bronzer that we now have all not mixed up, we have all the ingredients in here. With that cinnamon in there, you could irritate your skin. So if you have ultra sensitive skin, then I would err on the side of caution with this. Maybe completely nix it, maybe try a little bit, see how it goes, and then be in a place where you can immediately wash it off if you do notice some irritation. Again, it's just going to be dependent on you and you know, your skin. I have sensitive skin. I have not noticed a huge problem with it, but again, even when I do wear it, I'm wearing it very light. All right. And now, especially with the masks, I'll put the mask on, and by the time I take it off, it's probably close to rubbed off. All right. So I am going to mix it up. And it seemed like a good idea at the time when I grabbed this little whisk, but because of the size of this bowl, it might not have been. Alright, so when you're mixing, really the goal here is to make sure that everything is well mixed up and that you have no clumps, right? Because some of this stuff, some of the powder can clump together, and you don't want that. Alright, so smells amazing, by the way. Don't eat it, but smells pretty doggone good. I think it's that nutmeg. Well, it's the nutmeg and cinnamon mixture that really makes me think of fall. So, this is lovely. Alright. Anyway, back on point. I now have this powder. Alright. You can kind of see the coloring there. And all I'm going to do is when it's time to use it, I'll take my brush, dab it in, shake it off, and then apply it. Again, What you might do, you might just take some bronzer from the store, rub it on your brush, put it on, and then you're done. You might have to put more on because you're using this homemade product, okay? So keep that in mind. And if you put it on, the color's not right, then play around a little bit with the ingredients that you put in there to get a different color. If this is too dark for you, you could always add more cornstarch. If it's, you know, too red, maybe next time less cinnamon, add some more of the cacao. Something like that, okay? So play around with it. Let me know how it goes because this is one that I really do like. To store this, you're gonna need to seal it airtight. So I have a lid for this little container. I'll put it on there. It'll be good. Label it, as always. And then this will be good. Store it in a cool place, okay? So that's our bronzer. That one I love. I do want to hear how you guys like it. So leave me comments below. And then we're going to move on to the blush. Now the blush, this one, I have not made before. So we're going to see how it goes. So I'm going to start out first with a teaspoon of arrowroot powder. I'll show you the brand I use because I already did put it in my bowl here. So this is Bob's Red Mill arrowroot powder, okay? And I opened it from the bottom, so that's why I put it down here. But I used this back when my son was little. I used it in like homemade baby powder. I've used it in cooking. I've used it for other projects, I think projects that we've done together, other projects that I've done just kind of on my own. So arrowroot powder is really nice. This particular one I bought at a natural food store, but I am fairly certain that Walmart or Kroger would sell arrowroot powder. Or arrowroot flour is what this is actually labeled as. So start with, you need half of a teaspoon, and like I said, I already have my half a teaspoon in here, okay? And then what you're going to need, and this is where it's just going to be dependent on what you have. You have the option of using some kind of coloring, all right? Obviously, that's what blush is. And so there are three that, for just a natural pinker color, are recommended, excuse me. One is this alkanet powder. This is what I have, okay? Alkanet, this I bought off of Amazon. I used it for, gosh, what have I used it for? I've used it for like natural lip gloss, basically coconut oil beeswax, and then to tint it, to give it a little bit of that pinker look, I've used this in there, okay? I've also used, let's see, hibiscus flower powder. That's one that you could get a nice little pink hue from. I don't have any. Another one that would be recommended would probably be beetroot powder, okay? So any of those would work for that to get that pink hue. I already have in my 1 teaspoon of the alkanet powder, okay? So for those three that I mentioned, beetroot, the alkanet powder, and the hibiscus flower, for those three, I would just look on Amazon. I don't know that my natural food store nearby sells it, and I don't know that's something that that Kroger or Walmart would have. Check, right? But I just don't think that they would, because it's not something that you could really use for like cooking or something like that. All right, so I have half a teaspoon of arrowroot powder, 1 teaspoon. I use the alkanet root powder, and then I'm going to do 1/4 of a teaspoon of cacao. Right. And I'm going to take, and again with my super large whisk, I'm going to try to mix it up here. So with that cacao and with the alkanet powder, it does give it that blush look. Just for me personally, I don't know that this is going to be pink enough for me. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but for me, it looks really muted. Again, I don't know that you can see that. Like it looks more like a skin tone, just a little bit pinkier, which again, depending on the, I'm going to put it just kind of on my arm, which is not the same as your face at all, but I don't have a mirror. I should have prepared better. I don't know. I think I'm going to need to add a little bit more of the alkanet root. I think that'll give me the pinkier look. So again, like I just said, with the bronzer, you're gonna have to play around to see what works best with your skin. Before I do that, I'm gonna get off here, go to the bathroom, put it on my face, see how it works, see if I like it, or see if I am right that I need a little bit more of that pink color. Okay? So this is what I have so far. All right. One optional ingredient that you can try that I probably will not is lavender essential oil. Okay. So the reason I said I'm not is lavender does actually have a lot of really beneficial properties for your skin. All right. It really helps. It helps with acne. It helps with just like your overall complexion. All right. But for me, in my current skin situation, I am in a mask all day long. And I've noticed like so much excess oil and like I'm breaking out all over the place, and I really don't want to introduce any more oil that would sit on there all day with my makeup. So that's why I'm going to opt this time not to do it. Next time, right, next time I go to make it, I might go ahead and try it. So if you want to go ahead and try the essential oil, it would be 3 to 5 drops of lavender essential oil, and then mix that in really well. Okay, so again, remember with both of these products, with our bronzer, with our blush, these things are going to be applied differently. They're going to set differently on your skin than they would something that you buy from the store. Okay, remember that. Second, remember that both of these, the directions that I gave you are very general. All right, so if the color doesn't match your skin, play around with the color, right? This right now, if we're looking at the amount of this, maybe half it until you can find the recipe that you want. That way you don't use quite as much. So instead of doing 1 tablespoon, maybe do half a tablespoon, something like that. You know what I mean? Just until you can figure out what color is going to work for your skin. And then if you really love it, then you can go back and make a bigger amount. For both of these, need to be stored in an airtight container and then stored in a cool place. All right, so let me know how it goes for you. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. I look forward to hearing from you, hearing how it goes. I'm gonna go try this little blush out myself and then see if I need to add any more to my recipe. All right, have a great day, guys. Can't wait to see you in a couple weeks.